Someone shared with me a document that lists every Torah portion and a game that can be matched with it, like Jenga for Parshat Noach when they build the Tower of Babel, or Guess Who for last week's Parsha when Joseph reveals himself to his brothers. The game listed for Vayechi, our Parsha this week, is the Game of Life. It seems appropriate. The game has twists and turns and setbacks and adventures. The Game of Life, however, ends with retirement, and whoever has the most wealth wins. Parshat Vayechi is played much differently. Jacob practically begins his life over again in retirement in the last Parsha, finding out that Joseph is alive and moving to Egypt. As he nears the end of his life in this week's Parsha, he blesses his children and grandchildren, and he makes arrangements to be buried in the land of Israel with his fathers. We then go into great detail about the way in which they prepared Jacob's body for travel and burial. Joseph and his brothers once again make peace, and then just a few verses later, we learn of Joseph's death and the request he has made to also be taken up to the land of Israel when they leave Egypt. So why would the Game of Life be the appropriate match for this Parsha? Maybe because we so often learn much about someone and how they lived and what was important to them at the time of their death. Perhaps it's because Jacob gives blessings to describe the lives of his offspring, teaching that life isn't always sunshine and flowers. There are bumpy roads and unexpected outcomes. Maybe it's just because the first word of the Parsha is Vayechi, and he lived. We have had a lot of loss on our congregation lately. People who have been beloved to our Kehillah Kadosha, our holy community. People who gave life in so many different ways to us individually and to Kol Ami and the larger community as a whole. What we learn is that what makes a life isn't the number of years lived, the vacations you took, or the money you earned. What makes life is how you take the lessons you've learned and apply them to your actions, how you teach them to your children, your grandchildren, your friends, and family. What makes life is how you are remembered. It's how you lived. Shabbat Shalom.